G'day guys, Nate here, coming at you with part 2, or take 2, of predicting Collingwood's best 23 for opening round against St Kilda, which will be next Sunday night, 11 days away as of this recording. We've had a pracky game against GWS, a lot of notes, certain players standing out and whatnot, so a little bit clearer on predicting Collingwood's best 23, a few updates as well on certain players, but I think most importantly, part 3, the final predictions video for opening round. I think we'll know after Sunday night what our best 23 is going to look like, and also what our best 23 will look like for the pracky game against North Melbourne. It's a good indication of what Craig McRae is looking for with the best 23. Expect a 26-man squad to be announced for North Melbourne Sunday afternoon, 3:10 p.m. in Ballarat, and you'll see 3 emergencies not play or play very little. It's full. It's a pracky game. Go 4 points and whatnot. North Melbourne looking to respond. I'll have a proper preview of the pracky game against North Melbourne up either Friday night or sometime Saturday. Once the teams are released, it's not going to be a proper preview, just what I want to see and whatnot, and also just how we respond against North Melbourne, who are also looking to respond. There's going to be a behind-the-scenes footage of 2025. They'll be on 7 Plus, 7 p.m. on Tuesday night, March 3rd. Give that a watch. I made a comment on Instagram hoping, and I hope this is the case by the way, Oleg Markov behind the scenes footage, particularly for the North Melbourne call-up last minute while at Bunnings. If they deliver the goods on that, my goodness, I'll be at peace in the world. But yeah, cheap plug for the Instagram. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Give the Instagram a follow. Like my videos, comment your thoughts on my best 23. Again, got decent feedback for my best 23. I'll be signing apology forms for certain players and whatnot, players to include, players to exclude and whatnot. All the cheap plugs out of the way. Let's just get into this video. So you'll notice as well, new camera, better quality and whatnot, and how fitting that with a new camera, I get to put myself in the bottom corner, just like last time. So here was my best 23 for last week, and I'm going to color code my changes for this week's updated best 23. In my opinion, again, it's all subjective. Leave your comments down below what your best 23 is going to look like. Who do you want in? Who do you want out? Etc. But here's my changes. 2 changes to be exact. Dan McStay in for Charlie West, which is going to be harsh on Charlie West, but I saw enough from Dan McStay. I think he has cemented himself in the best 23 for now. Not guaranteed for the entire season. Needs to lift on his performances and output and remain injury-free for 2026. Charlie West, a bit harsh on him. That's fair enough. Only played a half, and that was the second half. Poor delivery, so very little to make of that. But I expect him to respond in the next pracky game against North Melbourne, which we've got the AFL pracky game in Ballarat, 3:10 p.m. on a Sunday. There's also going to be a VFL pracky game, Arden Street, 10 a.m. against North Melbourne. I won't set an alarm for that game or for Sunday, but if I wake up early, if I feel like I'm in the mood and whatnot, I will attend the VFL pracky game, VFL squad, plus hopefully some AFL listed players, the ones who won't be expected to make their AFL debuts or make AFL selection for that matter. I might make a video on it as well, just how the AFL listed players performed and also how the VFL squad fares for that game. Pracky game. There's also a second VFL pracky game, March 14th, Deakin Oval in Geelong against Geelong. That's the round where take on Adelaide. But just back onto the best 23, the changes. Dan McStay in for Charlie West. And I've got Rowan Steele in for Ty Prindable. So got a bit of feedback on Rowan Steele. Why haven't I included him in the squad? My reason for last week was I wanted to be more defensive-minded. Will Parker in for Rowan Steele. So I'm not replacing Will Parker for Rowan Steele. I'm replacing Prindable for Rowan Steele. Prindable hasn't put a foot wrong. I just think with our depth and our experience, Prindable's going to need to have some good performances in the VFL and maybe the pracky game on Sunday to make a claim for senior selection. But he's ticking all the boxes, Prindable. He's going to be a good player for the future. I just don't think he'll make his debut opening round anymore. Backline, Maynard, Frampton, Quaynor. I'm putting Pendlebury on half-back. Perryman will go on the bench. McInnes, still at centre-half-back. Now, this is the position where I think would change most likely. If Joel Cochran plays the pracker game on Sunday and Reef doesn't, then Joel Cochran comes in for Reef McInnes. And again, we are playing St Kilda, so we don't need to be too tall. I'm not trying to disparage St Kilda there. Rowan Marshall or TDK down forward alongside Cooper Sharman, maybe Machado Owens. For me, right now, McInnes over Joel Cochran might change for next week's video, and Dan Houston at halfback, taking the kick-ins. I'm hoping Dan Houston remains at halfback, make that position his own while Josh Dacos is up the ground. Centre line, along the wings, Jack Crisp, Josh Dacos, no changes there for me. Ned Long still in the centre. Hopefully he's playing against North Melbourne. Half forward line, 2 changes. Lockie Schultz remains, but Dan McStay in for Charlie West at centre half forward. And I put Lipinski in on field half forward and Tim Membry on the bench. A balance up forward and also just someone tall on the bench. Just personal preference there for me. Lipinski, good entries inside 50. He'll be challenged by Rowan Steele for that position at half forward and along the wing. Rowan Steele can kick a goal or 2 as well. So Lipinski could be in the firing line, I guess, for best 23. Forward pockets, Bo McCreary, however, will likely play more midfield. And I've got Nick Buller, full forward, pinch hitting in the ruck still. Needs to work on that craft. And Jamie Elliott, forward pocket. Smaller forward line compared to last week's video, or predicting best 23 to be exact. This would benefit Jamie Elliott, even though he doesn't kick as many goals when Dan McStay's in the squad. That was last year. I'm not too sure why that was the case, but with this squad, I think Jamie Elliott with a paddock to roam around in, acres of space, or the new cliche in the commentary box, pockets of space. Jamie Elliott should thrive with this forward line to be exact. Followers, Rux, Darcy Cameron, no surprise, and Nick Dacos, Jordan De Goey starting in the middle. On the bench, side bottom, Perryman, Membry moved to the bench. I don't think their spots are in danger, just on the bench for now. Perryman hopefully plays more midfield compared to last year. Membry also up forward. Will Parker remains in my best 23. Again, we need some solid backline players. Canterbury, halfback, will move into the midfield at times. Crisp as well, Perryman as well. So that's why I've got Will Parker on the bench, unless he starts at halfback. And Rowan Steele in for Brindable. I don't have Rowan Steele on the field just yet. If he plays well against North Melbourne, that might change. Depth, Joel Cochran, Oscar Steen, Charlie West. Cochran, key defender. Oscar Steen, second ruck. Charlie West, key forward. I don't think we're going in with Cameron and Steen in the best side yet, even though Oscar Steen will look to thrive with new ruck rules. Other depth players, Ed Allen, still, it's going to be harsh, but just with our midfield group, I think Ed Allen is just out. Angus Anderson, I've got him in as depth emergency. That's the biggest harsh call, I reckon. I'm going to cop a bit of flack for that. I just need to see Angus Anderson perform like that again against North Melbourne. If he does, then he's in consideration. But I expect Angus Anderson to make his debut at some point in 2026. I did say, looking at the draftees and whatnot, Angus Anderson might not get a game this year, but I am wrong on that. And my best 23, I'm also wrong on Angus Anderson. So I apologise. I'll sign the apology forms and whatnot. There was a comment holding me accountable for it. Thank you for that. So Angus Anderson in the mix for opening round. And I've got Prindable, Sullivan, and Harvey Harrison as well as depth. Prindable, we'll probably need to make a claim in the VFL. Sullivan, solid hands still. And Harvey Harrison, just for match fitness, I've got Harvey Harrison as depth. If he plays a full game against North Melbourne and performs, then he's in the mix. Another harsh one, I've seen comments saying he should be right for opening round. 540 odd days between games to see Harvey Harrison get through unscathed, but I just need to see Harvey Harrison play a full game before I make that consideration for him for opening round. And I've excluded guys like DeMartia, Jacob Ryan, Will Hayes for now. Swadling, Saxena likely play the VFL Pracky game, but that's all I watch this space. So just to summarise, 2 changes for me. Dan McStay, Rowan Steele in for Charlie West and Ty Prindable, and Pendlebury at half-back. Perryman goes to the bench. Lipinski at half-forward, Membry on the bench. Perryman and Membry, their position is not in danger. If anything, I think Lipinski could be in a bit of danger with Rowan Steele coming through. Harvey Harrison coming through, returning to full fitness. Sullivan does what he does. Prindable, debut imminent. Angus Anderson, point of difference. Ed Allen, hopefully more midfield minutes for Ed Allen in 2026. And we go from there. But I also should have included the update from Craig McRae this morning. Darcy Moore, Jeremy Howe, according to Craig McRae, likely will not play opening round. Hopefully the later rounds early on, but that's the update from Craig McRae. It's a verbal update, so I take his word for it with the updates from Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe, despite Darcy Moore saying that he should be right for opening round. think they need to be right for round 1 against Adelaide. That's the key forward, or the forward line for Adelaide's that I'm a little bit worried about. Not so much St Kilda, but St Kilda can score heavily, as shown against Gold Coast Suns last week. So just need to have the right balance down back and have everyone fit and firing for opening round. No long-term injuries, except for Bobby Hill's personal reasons, but hopefully Bobby Hill makes a return at some point in 2026. Won't happen for opening round. But that is all for this video. Waffling on. What are your thoughts on your best 23? What do I have right? What do I have wrong? I'm hoping to be as close to 23 as possible for the final predictions video. It's a good little activity, so don't give me too much shit for it. I'm happy for the disagreements. I'm happy to talk back and forth on best 23, who to include, who to exclude, and whatnot. But yeah, that's all for this video. I'll leave you guys all to it. Hoping you guys have had a good week so far. Please be well, please be safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.